What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another Prize Picks video for you. Today is Thursday, March 16th, 2023. We have a itty bitty teeny tiny 5-game slate in the NBA to talk about today. And as always, I hope this video finds you all doing well and in good spirits. In traditional video format, we will kick things off by quickly recapping our plays from yesterday. We'll dig into some updated injury news, and then we'll dive on into 6 player props that I want to share with you today. And I'm calling it right now. We're going 6-0 today. I feel it. So without further delay, let's jump into those picks from yesterday. Overall, finished 5-3. We had 3 player props that did not come through for us. Let's start with those. So Jimmy Butler over 11.5 second half points. We talked about this and how he is a second half primetime scorer. Prop was released at 11.5. I took the over on that one. Such a blowout in Miami that he wasn't needed in the second half. So he honestly just didn't do much in the second half. All the damage was done in the in the first half and then in that third quarter. So Butler finished the second half with 5 points. Bam Adebayo left us on the hook with 8 rebounds. Believe this was partially due to the blowout. He just didn't see and just wasn't needed in the fourth quarter. So that really impacted his overall performance. And then Russell Westbrook came through with a vintage Russell Westbrook game. Overall had a great fantasy game, but second half fantasy points ended with about 19 fantasy points, and his second half prop was released at 14.5. So those 3 did not work out for us, but let's talk about what did work out for us. We had Jimmy Butler go over his 7.5 free throws made prop, and then we had the quadruple hit. I don't know what the term is for this, but our 4 Philly plays hit. So we had Harden over assist, we had Embiid over his points, PRA, and points and rebounds, and so all that worked out beautifully. Overall, pretty good day. 5-3. Would have loved to see Butler hit that second half prop, and being that Bam was so close to his rebound prop, man, this was so close to being a 7-1 day. But today we bounce back, we redeem ourselves a bit, and we go 6-0. Before we jump into those player props, let's quickly update ourselves on some injury news, starting now. Injury news as of this morning. I cannot find anything but this injury report. This was released late last night, and either nothing has changed or so much has changed that they don't know where to start with this injury report. But I believe all this is pretty accurate still. We have Chris Middleton, Josh Okogie in, probable Jamal Murray, Jaden Ivey, Jay Crowder, Torrey Craig, questionable Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner, Brooke Lopez, Buddy Hield, TJ McConnell, Goran Dragic, and Gary Harris. And then out, we have Benedict Mathurin, Chris Duarte, and Isaiah Livers. All right, so for our very first prop, I want to talk a little bit about Mikal Bridges and his first half points. And I like the over here. I like the more. Let's hop on over to props.cash and dig into this and find out why. All right, so pulling up Mikal Bridges' game log here, we can see that over the last 10 games that he has a 80% hit rate when we adjust his line from 13 to 12.5. We can see that he has hit this prop in 3 straight games. We can see that he has hit this prop in 3 out of his last 5. Overall, as long as his shots are there, as long as he's taken 10 plus shots in the first half, I have a great feeling that he can hit this versus a Sacramento defense that gives up a lot of production, through points. Bottom of the league in both points and field goal percentage allowed, and 3-pointers allowed. Digging in a little deeper, we want to toggle the splits to home since this game is in Brooklyn, and we can see that Mikal Bridges' hit rate remains very high, 70% hit rate, 6 games in a row. Now his shots per game or per half when he's at home do drop a little bit. So we're still getting 10, but it does drop a little bit. This game versus Charlotte, 9 for 9 in the first half, that was crazy. But if we can get him hitting anywhere between 6 to 7 shots in that first half, and he is attempting 3 to 4 threes per half, and if he's making 2 of those, the chances of him eclipsing 12 and a half is great. And then he's also getting to the line, and he's just doing great things at the line. A lot of green there. Staying out of foul trouble, which is what we love to see, because availability is the best ability for a player. Yeah, so for all those reasons, I like the over the more on Mikal Bridges, 12 and a half first half points. The next 3 player props that I have are going to be first half as well. So let's talk a little bit about Michael Porter Jr. first half points. Let's talk a little bit about his first half PRA. And then let's also talk a little bit about Pascal Siakam's first half PRA that's set to 17 and a half. Digging into these props, I really like the over the more on both of Michael Porter Jr.'s props. And I'm going to go with the under, the less, when it comes to Pascal Siakam, 17 and a half points, rebounds, and assists. We start with Michael Porter Jr.'s first half points set to 8.5. Let's go ahead and bump this down from 9 and take a look. Over the last 10 games, MPJ's hit this in 7 out of 10 with a 70% hit rate. We can see that Detroit's defense is very generous to the small forward position in allowing, or not just the small forward position, but very generous in general in terms of points allowed, field goals, 3-pointers, free throws made. So across the board, you see a lot of green, a little bit of yellow. We always want to check and see what the shot volume is for a player when we're taking their points. In the first half, MPJ is averaging roughly 7 shots in the first half, and 50% of those are going to be 3-pointers. So if his 3 is falling, then his point prop is going to get hit. It's very simple. When he's missing his free 3-point attempts and just not with it from the field, then he's going to struggle, and his first half prop, probably his full game props, are not going to get hit. Not getting into a ton of foul trouble, is seeing a bit of time at the free throw, so at the free throw line, which is great. Taking a look at his PRA, we can see that his PRA, 80% hit rate, rebounds and points allowed remain an opportunity for the Detroit Pistons here. Scrolling up, let's toggle this to away. So 60% hit rate. Listen, there's no sweat with Michael Porter Jr. He either hits it or he just doesn't come close. So there's that. But I still like his props today on the road versus a very bad Detroit Pistons team. So those 2 props, let's take the more on those for Michael Porter Jr. Let's talk a little bit about Pascal Siakam, under 17.5 PRA. Pulling up the 10-game log for Pascal Siakam, it doesn't look great. Now, if we just solely look at his 5-game log and we base it off that, it's flawed research. Let's dig into this a little bit more. Let's break this down. Pascal Siakam taking double-digit shots in most of these games, not hitting them. That's basically it. His PRA is suffering because his shot's not falling. We can see that if he's shooting 10 times a game, he's roughly going to give you 40% of that, up to 60%. So his points are not there over the last 10 games. We could check out also his rebounds, and those have been down as well. And then assist. We took one of his assist props versus the Lakers. He didn't even come close. When I look at the production of his teammates also, now that there's a healthy OG Anunoby back in the lineup, you have Scotty Barnes out of his little slump. And honestly, Fred VanVleet is running the point. He's the one dishing out assists. I believe all this just feeds into Siakam's production not being where it was, a month ago. So I definitely am looking at this and paying attention to all those factors. 17.5 PRA is a big PRA for somebody who's not the focal point of the offense. For someone like Joel Embiid, those players who have big roles in the offense, when they're like the 1A or 1B in the offense, that's a very low PRA number. But for someone like Pascal Siakam, who has so much talent around him on this team in the starting 5, there's just too many mouths to feed here. So I'm going to go with the under on Pascal Siakam, 17.5 PRA, and I'm going to feel really good about it. I'm not going to even think about it outside of this video. So those are the other 3 first half props. to round out the first half player props I wanted to share with you. And I have 2 more to dig into as well. All right, you're probably going to think I'm crazy for going here, but I'm going to go here, and I'm going to talk about James Wiseman's points at 14.5, and I want to talk about his 14.5 points and assists, which is an identical number. And anytime we give this type of prop, it is worth our time to dig into it and possibly consider taking the over here. So let's dig into this over on props.cash. So pulling up James Wiseman's 10-game log over on props.cash, we can see that he's hit this prop in 4 out of his last 5 games, 5 out of his last 10 games. Overall, we can see Denver's defense is allowing pretty high percentage, a field goal percentage per game. Scrolling down, just taking a look at the difference between those games for James Wiseman. So starting on the 25th, we can see that his minutes were a little down in that game. We can see them ramp up, kind of fluctuate a little bit. But if we can get 26, 27 minutes for him in this game versus Denver, I feel real good about that. And I wanted to share with you some stats also that I was able to dig up. Last 10 games versus Denver, last 10 games, centers, the center position versus Denver. And these centers have to have played 20 plus minutes. But in those 10 games for centers who have played 20 plus minutes against Denver, here are your point totals: 12, 20, 25, 18, 5, 7, 7, 7, 14, and 31. That is an average of 15.6 points. And then in terms of assists, in those same games, the average assist per center is 2.9. So 15.6 points, 2.9 assists. You want to round this up or down, roughly 15 points and 2 assists per game in the last 10 games when a center plays over 20 minutes. I like his odds of hitting his points, and honestly, if he gets you 15 points, then he gets you his prop on points and assists as well. I think this is great value to attack, and I like the over on both of these. So to round up, recap our 6 plays for today, we got James Wiseman over both points and assists. We got Michael Porter Jr. over both points, first half points, and first half PRA. And our final 2, Mikal Bridges over 12.5 first half points, and Pascal Siakam under his 17.5 first half PRA. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by, checking this video out, talking some player props over on Prizepicks. Do me a favor, leave me a comment below. Let me know who you have your eyes on, who are you locking into your slips today. Also, let me know what you think about these 6 player props that we went over in today's video. Do you like them, love them, hate them, or do you want to leave them alone? Either way, let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for the continued support, the likes, the subs, the comments. All of it helps this channel get a bit bigger every single day. And until tomorrow's Prizepicks video, Chavez is